Welcome, everyone, to the Creeper Corner. In sports parlance, it's the DuckSquad's off-season show. Here, Lee, that's him.
Hello, everyone.
And Lucas, that's me. Hi, everybody. We'll highlight the films that might have flown under the radar during the summer movie season, or movies that might not exhibit the same craftsmanship or quality of those big summer blockbusters. Basically, we'll be watching B-movies or straight-to-DVD/Netflix/streaming service of your choice movies and discussing them in much the same way as the Duck Squad does during the summer movie season. We're going to be taking turns picking movies for each other to watch and discuss. And first off is Lee. Lee, what'd you pick for us today, son?
I picked off of Netflix The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Motherfucker. Do you know anything about this movie?
Not a thing except that it's, quote, based on a true story.
Oh, Jesus. This sounds like a real winner you picked for us on our very first show, Lee.
I do what I can.
I know you do. Well, let's get to it, and we'll be back later to discuss it.
See y'all then. The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Wow. Lee, I'm going to tell you something right now. You did a really good job picking this movie, I'll be honest. I'm not saying that to give you shit or anything like that, but this was actually a pretty enjoyable movie. Considering I watched it for free at somebody's house, the free Diet Dr. Pepper, it was pretty. I don't know if I'd have paid real money to see it, but for what it was worth, it was pretty enjoyable.
I really wish I could have seen this one with surround sound or in a theater somewhere, because I mean that it just lends itself to that kind of atmosphere.
Right, I agree. So Lee, tell us the plot in 60 seconds or less about The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Well, there's this documentary filmmaker named Mia. She wanted to do a documentary on Alzheimer's and the patients therein. So they get this lady, Deborah Logan, and her daughter, Sarah, to agree to let them come in and set up cameras and film, during the night and see what these people go through. Well, that never really comes to fruition like they expect it to, Mm-hmm. Their film crew and then Deborah, they go through all manner of it's just one thing after another, these poor people. And I don't want to give too much away right now, but let's just say that it doesn't turn out the way they expect. Yeah.
So you're not going to give spoilers on this movie at all?
All right, spoilers.
I think if you're going to see a movie called The Taking of Deborah Logan, you see like the title screen of or not the title screen, but the box cover art or whatever you want to call it, you're pretty much under the impression this is going to be a horror movie of some kind.
Actually,
I would think.
The Taking of Deborah Logan, it made it seem more like, okay, if you read the description, like the Alzheimer's was taking her, like it's going to be one of those, and the crazy stuff that goes in. Like, okay, is this otherworldly or is this Alzheimer's?
Yeah.
So, I didn't expect it to go in the direction it did.
Yeah, I was actually a little surprised, to be honest, because when the movie first starts out, it really seems like a documentary on Alzheimer's. I mean, the acting is kind of, you could tell they were acting, but at the same time, it was set up in such a way I was like, is this really a movie about Alzheimer's? Did Lee fuck me again? I was like, but then it kind of gets going to, from Alzheimer's to, haunted house type deal to
possession
and serial killers and snake demons, and
it really hits the trifecta there.
I think it tries to cram a lot into a 90-minute runtime, maybe a little too much, but we'll talk about that here in a little bit. Let's see. Now, how Gary would do this is, were there any performances that stand out for you guys? And by you guys, I mean Lee. Or I'll go first. I'll start this one out. The guy that reminded us of our friend Nicholas, I think he did a really good job.
Yes,
Lee, you
did.
wrote his name down in the movie, didn't you?
Yeah, it was Gavin.
Gavin?
Yeah.
I'll never remember that, but I'll call him Nicholas. Nicholas was probably the smartest character, I should say, in the entire movie, because halfway through he's seen enough of the shit and takes off in a vehicle. He's like, I'm done. I'm out. Yeah, he's gone.
You can't pay me enough.
Can't pay me enough, and you never see him again. You'd think in a movie like this he'd pop back up towards the end or something, but nope, he is gone, and you never see him again.
It's refreshing, actually.
Yeah, I think the writer of this movie, I've got him down. I want to give him credit, actually, if I can find a... There we go. Adam Robitel, I believe we pronounce it. I'm not sure, but he is a writer, director / actor. He wrote and directed this movie. He also wrote Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension. I didn't see that one. Horror movies aren't my thing.
You just ruined him right there.
No, did I?
Yeah,
is that not a good movie?
I've never seen it, but I've seen reviews on it, and
not
just
too good.
Stay away.
And he is directing Insidious Chapter 4 coming out in 2017. So
the guy's got some pretty big credits.
Well, yeah.
Well-known franchises is what I'm getting at.
I suppose.
It was. I was reading about it. And it's produced from the people that do X-Men. So, that's another good thing. The movie had good production value. It wasn't just like, shake the camera here or shake it there and hope make someone sick. I didn't get motion sickness watching this movie. No,
I didn't. I don't get motion sickness at all watching movies like that. Like Cloverfield when the whole camera was shaking, Blair Witch when the whole camera was shaking. That stuff doesn't bother me. I don't know why.
Well, Blair Witch is one of my favorite horror movies of all time, but Cloverfield, I saw it in theater, made me sick. It really made me motion sick.
Yeah.
I got over it, but it was a scene in the center of the movie that just, ugh. So, movies like this are hit or miss. This one was just fine.
Yeah, this, like I said, this is very enjoyable. Let's see. Well, that's my performance that stood out to me. What about you, Lee? I know you had a hankering for the Deborah Logan lady.
Yeah, I thought she played the crap out of her role, man. She just, I mean,
she brought it. Yeah, that's a professional actress right there. I know she was definitely trying to act like this was a real deal motion picture. Yeah, and I'm gonna act my ass off in this, and she did a really good job.
I saw some footage of her from was it Young and the Restless, or it was one of those, and yeah, you're right. She is a legit actress.
Oh, she been on some soap operas?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, she's been around for a while. And I've actually been around some Alzheimer's patients. Mm-hmm. They act just like that to a certain degree.
Right.
They're not possessed or anything. But
not possessed by snake demons and serial killers and whatnot.
You kind of get that feeling, though, when you're around them. If you're privy to horror movies, you're like, these people, this has got to be scary and terrifying for them once they know when they come back into the real world what's going on. But just watching it happen, it's scary. So,
Oh, yeah.
It's
absolutely
terrifying.
Absolutely. Okay, Lee, we'll go back to you since nobody else is here.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of the movie, or least favorite part? You can go either or both.
I would go my favorite part.
Okay.
They pulled off Deborah Logan eating that little girl's head so well. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that, Deborah...
Was this a sexual act or what?
It's not a sexual act at all. Her mouth just dislocated. It unhinged like a snake, and she was devouring this poor girl.
Yep,
it's making me sick just thinking about it.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I actually was not expecting to see that. I really wasn't.
No.
No.
And you've been telling me lately that movies, if they really want to hold your attention, they need to go off the rails. This one
kind of goes off the rails in the last 15, 20 minutes, I'd say. Yeah.
Well worth it. I mean, the effects, that looked good. It didn't look computer generated, and it didn't really look animatronic-y. You know what I mean? Like, right. It looked legit.
They did a good job. I mean, I could tell there was some CG going on there, but I mean, I wouldn't say, "Oh, look at that hilarious CG job." I was like, "Oh, I was into the movie." So credit to the filmmakers for that. So I didn't notice,
Yeah.
I was caught into it. So
yeah,
good stuff. Let's see. Best part of the movie for me was probably one I was telling you about. The whole. I didn't like the way it was shot, but the where they checked the tapes for that old documentary on the serial killer or whatever, the River Rogue, whatever his name was.
Yeah.
I like shit like that. I like watching the 70s and 80s recreated like that sort of thing. Even though I could tell it was shot on a digital camera and then put through a couple of filters on Premiere or whatever to make it look like tape, and
they cut it down so it wouldn't look like widescreen. So
they in about 4:3 like you'd see on a TV or something.
Yeah,
old TV back in the day.
They took their time with that, and like you said, they didn't shoot it on video, but they done enough to where this will do. It's enough to where it looks authentic.
Yeah, they tried. I mean, they definitely tried. So I'll definitely give them props for that. Let's see, likes and dislikes. I'll go ahead and do this one. Like I said, overall, I liked the movie as a whole. I thought it was very well done. I think people really tried, for the most part, to make a decent horror film.
Yeah.
Even though it was quote unquote found footage / quote unquote fake documentary /
the fake-umentary,
quote unquote, whatever, which I'm kind of tired of. But for what this was pretty well done. I didn't like, which goes into what I didn't like. I don't think this movie could decide. I don't know if it's either the writing or through the editing or what. I couldn't really tell whether they were wanting it to be like an actual documentary at first, and then I'm trying to explain myself. Did I tell you, was I talking to you during the middle of this? I couldn't decide whether it wanted to be like found footage or a documentary or something.
Because it does both.
Yeah, it does both. And you'd think this is kind of like in the vein of a Blair Witch Project where, they just release the film as is. But there's post-production obviously done to this film because there's sound effects when there's jump scares and whatnot. So.
Yeah, it's like the filmmakers within the movie, not the actual filmmakers.
Exactly, that's how it came across. Yeah,
the filmmakers in the movie got to finish their documentary and saw that it wasn't a documentary about Alzheimer's, but something far more sinister. And I thought, well, we can make it scary, so let's add the sound effects on it. But I'm gonna tell you what, if I'd have filmed all that, I ain't touching this footage again. I'm done. There's some deadly stuff going on there.
I wouldn't have filmed past the 45-minute mark or whatever. I'd have gotten. Let's see. When did I say I would take off? Not when she had the knife on the camera guy.
Oh, when quote Nicholas is filming, putting a cross on the window, and looks over, and there she is. Looks back to the window, and the windows just flew right open.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's when I would. That's when I would bolt and be like, "Hey, see you guys. I'm out."
It's like there's an open window here. I'm going to take advantage of it, and you guys have a good one. Yeah. Like the characters in this were smarter than the average horror movie cliches.
I think the filmmakers probably had Cabin in the Woods in mind when they saw this movie because they didn't want to try and insult anybody's intelligence. And that movie kind of explains why everybody's so dumb and whatnot. So they tried. Cabin in the Woods explained why horror movie characters are usually so dumb. So
and it was such a great movie.
I loved it. I loved Cabin in the Woods. I wish I owned it actually. But yeah, I think they had that movie in mind. Hence why the characters, for the most part, appeared to be fairly intelligent. In order for a movie like this to keep going, there's a couple of characters that need to be kind of idiots, and I think
they have to.
I think the lead filmmaker lady, what's her name, Mia? Is that her name? Yeah, she wasn't really all that bright. Was there anybody else that struck you as not particularly smart?
The cameraman.
The cameraman.
Yeah, he's like another addict. I'm like, and he said, "What's wrong with these white people and these addicts?" He just continually, which. In his defense, he was the only one that actually had a light source, which was attached to the camera.
Right.
But
you get the prerequisite night vision sequence, so don't worry, guys. It's in there.
Yeah, it is. And it's not overly done like it is in some movies. There is one dislike that I need to throw out here. Why were all the lights off all the time? Why didn't they just turn on lights?
Yeah, I'm not really sure if they explained that or not. They explained a lot of things. Like in a little off, what's the word? Not off character, but offhand. That's what I mean to say. Offhand moments. Be like, you keep asking, why do these guys keep filming? And somebody off camera says, we need the money real bad, or something like that.
Or you would mention something, and boom, it would happen.
And it would happen. Yeah, so, that was kind of weird too.
Why don't they take her to the hospital? Next scene.
She's in the hospital. Yeah.
Why don't they get her to the doctor? There's a doctor. Yeah. It was weird. So that's why I said
it hit the notes, but it hit them in a way where, like, you'd think like, oh man, why don't they do this? And they wind up doing it. That's why I say they brought up Cabin in the Woods, or I brought up Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, it's a smarter than average horror movie.
I would agree with that. It's smarter than your average bear.
I was wondering.
Okay, Yogi.
All right. Lee, we'll go to you since this is your bread and butter. How would you make it is what I'm calling this segment. And what I mean by that is, say you were given the opportunity to make a sequel or a remake of this movie, even though it's only 2 years old. What would you do to this movie?
Well,
would you tear it up? Would you smack it up, flip it, rub it down? Oh no!
I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't need a remake because I think it's fine as is. Now, if I were going to do a sequel, which this movie doesn't need a sequel, but if I were going to do one, that stinger at the end with that little girl, I would make it a legit movie. I wouldn't make it another found footage or documentary.
Right.
I would follow this little girl filmmaking style, and see what goes on with that, and probably do an Exorcist type thing.
So you would do you would pull a Blair Witch Book of Shadows on this movie, basically, is what you're trying to say, right?
No, they didn't stay in context with that movie at all. No. I agree that they tried something different. It failed, but they did try different.
Right.
This one, I would keep it same like, oh no, the first one wasn't just a fake documentary, which is what Blair Witch 2 did.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's follow this little girl, make it a direct sequel, and keep going, but film it like a real movie, with the special effects, with the big budgets and whatnot.
Yeah.
If you had the budget to do that. I wouldn't dare make a sequel to a found footage film, another found footage film. That just don't make sense. And yet they did it with Blair Witch.
Did you hear that, 2016 Blair Witch? Did you hear that?
He never thought I would say that. I love the found footage documentary stuff, but don't follow it up with another one. It's hard enough to try to make the characters keep the camera going for some reason. This movie did it, and it was fine because it was a documentary, and that was their light source. Blair Witch did it because, they were lost in the woods and they were kind of going crazy. So
right.
it's like, let's just, film this. And then they're like getting on each other's nerves with it. They went insane. Sequel to this, yeah, straight up movie. That's me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with Lee on that one. I don't really have much in the way of like big ideas for a sequel or a remake. Like I said, if it were up to me, I would probably lean more towards a found footage type deal just by the nature of the material, as opposed to like trying to pass it off as like an actual documentary where we film some weird ass shit that'll turn your ass white and just release it.
There were some scenes in this movie that I found genuinely disturbing.
There was some creepy stuff. Yeah, I will give it up to that, especially shots of Deborah Logan.
Deborah Logan.
She's in the title of the movie. I don't know why I couldn't think of it, but
Miss Debbie.
Yeah, Miss Debbie, if you're nasty. Where she's sitting there playing the piano, looking at the camera, playing
That's
Three Blind Mice. Yeah,
that's the creepiest thing I've seen in a movie in years.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy.
And then it
slowly
out.
fades to black. Yep. And we have to believe that the filmmakers did that on purpose.
Yeah. The filmmakers within the movie.
The filmmakers within the movie did that on purpose.
Let's get maximum creep factor out
exactly.
of it. And they did. And the scene that really got me was when she was sitting there just nonchalant rubbing her arm. It doesn't even draw attention to it. And then all of a sudden she starts scratching, gets a big handful of flesh, and just rips it.
Yeah.
And the cameraman's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't notice it either. It's little subtleties like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me see. Creepy part in this one. I thought where she was sitting at the switchboard naked was kind of creepy there.
Old woman crack.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Old woman crack was sitting there, and you got this working a switchboard, and they unplug it or try to unplug her from it or something.
Yeah.
And it pretty much electrocutes her. Basically,
there's a face.
Yeah, there's a face or something in her. She's electrocuted. They call the doctor. Doctor checks her out and everything, and they're like listening to like the voices they recorded, listen to the audio from what they shot.
Yeah, our buddy Nicholas.
Yeah, our buddy Nicholas working the sound. Apparently, like isolated the audio from the switchboard or something. Is that what he did?
Mm-hmm.
Isolated the audio from the switchboard and translated what was said into English. It was coming out in French, wasn't it? No,
Yeah.
she was talking.
She was talking.
She was talking in French, right?
Yeah, and he had it translated to English, and
Yeah.
he had to speed it up to actually understand what it was saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was kind of like the Necronomicon Ex Mortis,
Right,
or
right.
roughly translated, Book of the Dead.
Yeah. And it started coming out. It was like, was it bathe you in the water of the snake's blood or something like that?
It was.
I want to make you the fifth. Or something
make
like
you
that.
the fifth. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh.
And that's the first time you really get a hint of, okay, this is going to have to do with snakes. I mean, you see her with a snake earlier in the movie, but think, okay, well, this is just either because she's got Alzheimer's or snakes are a sign of pure evil, and she's holding a snake. Okay, at this point, the movie doesn't let you know what it's doing, which is good.
Right.
And then there's
that's when I figured when she was grabbing the snake. You know, they're about 10 minutes in, I believe. It's like, oh, this is going to get weird. You know.
yeah, but we never knew how weird.
No, definitely did not see old lady's jaw unhinging and trying to swallow a small child. No. 80 minutes later, you would not expect to see that, but there it is.
It's one of those movies, after it goes off, I mean, you could see, like you said, some of this stuff coming. And I get sucked into a movie, and I don't pay attention of what's coming up ahead. I just let the story take me where it wants to go.
Right.
And this one, it worked. Because, I mean, like we said, I didn't know she was going to start eating a little girl's head. I mean, wow. You called the mine shaft, though.
Yeah, I did call the mine shaft.
Yeah, it went where you might have thought it would go, but it didn't get there the way you think it would go.
Right. I'd agree with that. Yeah, they took a different path as opposed to somebody else would probably just go straight, you know, from point A to point B to point C, all the way to the end.
Let me throw this out real quick, and it's not me being a person who likes older women or anything like that.
Oh Lord!
But
no, I didn't find her attractive, Lee.
I
no,
thought
not
Deborah
at all.
Logan was kind of attractive at the beginning of the movie. Not like, I'm not talking about like, oh, she's so hot. No, she was like, she was just a nice looking lady. You know, like debonair, kind of.
Right.
She's from Eczema, Virginia, according to the movie. I don't know if that's a real place or not, but
Well, eczema is like a skin condition.
Eczema. Did I say eczema?
You said eczema.
Eczema.
Yeah. Oh, that's how they pronounce it in the movies, eczema.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Exuma, Virginia. Well, anyway, I mean, she's a Southern belle, and she just has an air of sophistication about her.
Southern belle. That's how you like them, ain't it, Lee?
Yeah, they can.
Old and Southern.
They can,
old and racist. That's how Lee likes them.
They can make cornbread. Old and racist, really?
Were there any black people in this movie?
Yeah, the cameraman.
Because the cameraman was black?
Yeah,
so you hardly ever saw him, basically. Is it?
Well, he was in there. He made jokes toward white people.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah, you announced it earlier. Yeah.
But anyway, it was a good time. It really was. I enjoyed the dickens out of that movie.
Oh, I was looking up eczema, Virginia on Google here. First thing that comes up: Virginia girl found eating herself in cage in mobile home. Now, that's a horror movie right there.
Oh my Lord! Yeah, Virginia girl found eating herself in cage in mobile home. New York Daily News. Well, maybe she's a snake.
Maybe. Ugh.
Man, that fit right with what we were talking about.
Let's get that big silence out because I was looking for eczema, Virginia.
Yeah, Exuma.
All right. Let's see. Let's go down to our final rating.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's go with Lee on this one. Lee, as you know, the Duck Squad, we rate our movies on Ray Fancher's.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Fancher, of course, being one of our favorite high school teachers because he would let us watch movies in his class instead of actually teaching us.
Loved it.
And we love him forever for it. So, Lee, how many Ray Fanchers would you give The Taking of Deborah Logan, and why?
I am going to go really high on this one, and I'll tell you why. I'm going to give it 4 out of 5. Ray
Holy
Fanchers.
smokes!
I am, and this is not something that carried over from the summer season. Horror movies are my favorite thing.
Right.
I love horror movies. This one I enjoyed thoroughly, more than I expected to. It was just something on Netflix, and I thought, okay, I've never seen it. Let's check it out. The acting was decent. The characters were smarter than usual. The special effects were good. It didn't overuse the shaky cam. It done the documentary style where it actually started like a real documentary. From beginning to end, I enjoyed The Taking of Deborah Logan.
Wow. I am absolutely not shocked whatsoever. Well, unfortunately for you, Lee, I am not the biggest fan of horror movies. I lean towards the more classic ones like Halloween and Friday the 13th and all its sequels, all the goofy ones and terrible ones in between.
The schlock.
That sort of, the schlock stuff, yes. I love the schlock horror movies. However, on this one, I think I'm going to have to follow your lead and give it 4 out of 5 Ray Fatchers for The Taking of Deborah Logan, and here's why. Yes, this thing had its problems, and yes, I've detailed them for the most part, but I think it's pretty obvious that the filmmakers really tried hard to make this one an enjoyable movie. I think that's pretty apparent. You can tell when somebody's trying to make a decent movie, and they really tried on this one. I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I just wish they had focused more on the found footage stuff as opposed to an actual documentary, because otherwise it doesn't make a whole lot of, it doesn't make much sense, you know, when, at certain scenes and whatnot. But for what it's worth, I enjoyed it. 4 out of 5 Rays.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Highly recommended.
Highly recommended by the Krēpǝr Kornǝr guys, the Squadcasters, as Lee calls us. All right, so if you at home or wherever you're listening to this want to catch The Taking of Deborah Logan, is that the name of the movie? That is the name of the movie, right?
Yes, it is.
The Taking of Deborah Logan. You can find it on Netflix. You can find it on Amazon Prime. Or if you're like Moneybags McClanahan over here and want to spend your money on it, you can buy it on YouTube or Google Play for $3.99.
Moneybags
McClanahan.
Shoot, yeah.
Yes. All right, folks. That does it for this episode, this premiere episode of the Krēpǝr Kornǝr. We'll be back probably in about 2 weeks with a film of my choosing, and hopefully this will get the full 5 out of 5 Rays, since Lee surprised me with a 4 out of 5 on this one. So
I can't believe that. I'm still in shock. I'm shocked that the movie was as good as it was.
Well, you got to understand, I'm seeing it for free in an air-conditioned home with a free Dr. Pepper in front of me. So, you know, that definitely adds my ratio of enjoyment to a movie is proportionate to how much money I paid to see it. So.
Well, you didn't pay any Mooney.
I didn't pay any Mooney. I didn't pay any money either. So. All right, guys, that does it for us. Lee, any last words before we get out of here?
Just be on the lookout for another Krēpǝr Kornǝr in 2 weeks, and we'll come at you with Lucas's whatever he picks, and hopefully it's as good, if not better, than mine.
Well, let's hope. John, you got anything you want to do? Oh, John's not. I'm sorry.
What about Gary? Where's Gary?
Gary's not here. He's doing some important city business. So.
Well, Chad?
I'm not really sure what Chad's doing. I don't think Chad knows what he's doing.
Well, all right then.